The moment her father's hand trembled and pointed past her, something inside her quietly broke, yet the world around her kept breathing as if nothing had happened. In a hall glowing with wealth and polished smiles, where chandeliers reflected promises of security and status, she stood perfectly still while fate chose to pass her by. Everyone saw the pretty sister first. Everyone always did, and when her father finally spoke, the words felt less like a decision and more like a sentence that would follow her for the rest of her life. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet strength that survives rejection, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. She had grown up knowing her place in the family long before that day. Beauty had been the unspoken currency of their household, and she had never been rich in it. Her sister carried light effortlessly, turning heads without trying, receiving affection without asking. She, on the other hand, learned early how to shrink her expectations, how to soften her presence so others would not feel uncomfortable around her plainness. She became useful instead of admired, dependable instead of desired, the one who noticed small cracks in the walls and quietly fixed them before anyone else saw the damage. It was a survival skill she perfected without ever being taught. The Duke's arrival had changed the rhythm of the house. Servants moved faster, her father's voice grew sharper, and her sister suddenly became the center of careful planning and hopeful ambition. Everyone knew what was expected. The Duke was powerful, respected, and wealthy beyond measure, and his interest was not a gift to be wasted. The family needed this match, and her sister fit the image perfectly. She herself was only meant to stand nearby, presentable enough not to embarrass anyone, invisible enough not to interfere. When the moment came, the air felt heavy, as though the walls themselves were holding their breath. Her father, proud and nervous, guided the Duke's attention with practiced confidence. The assumption was clear, simple, and cruelly efficient. Take the pretty one, take the sister who reflected well on all of them. No one noticed how her fingers curled inward, how her chest tightened as she prepared herself for another quiet erasure. Rejection was familiar. She had learned how to endure it with grace, but something unexpected happened in that silence. The Duke did not look where he was guided. His gaze did not linger on the easy beauty offered to him. Instead, it paused thoughtfully on the one person no one had considered worth choosing. His attention carried weight, not curiosity or pity, but recognition. It unsettled the room, it unsettled her even more. From that moment on, everything shifted, slowly and painfully, like ice breaking under steady pressure. Whispers followed her through corridors. Confusion sat on her father's face like an unwelcome shadow. Her sister's smile tightened, not cruel but wounded, as if something precious had been taken from her without warning. And she herself stood caught between disbelief and fear, unsure whether this sudden focus was a blessing or another test meant to humble her further. Life after rejection had taught her not to hope recklessly. She approached each day with caution, waiting for the truth to reveal itself. She expected disappointment, a polite withdrawal, a realization that a mistake had been made. Instead, she found herself slowly seen, not admired for appearances, not praised for fitting an image, but noticed for the way she listened, the way she understood silence, the way she carried herself with dignity shaped by years of being overlooked. The challenges did not disappear. If anything, they sharpened. People questioned the Duke's judgment. Her own family struggled to hide their discomfort. She felt the weight of comparison heavier than ever, now sharpened by resentment and doubt. Nights were long, filled with uncertainty, with the old voice inside her whispering that she did not belong in this story, that she was only borrowing a place meant for someone else. Yet something inside her refused to collapse. Perhaps it was exhaustion from a lifetime of shrinking, or perhaps it was the quiet courage built from surviving neglect. She began to stand a little straighter. She stopped apologizing for her existence. She learned that worth did not need permission, and dignity did not require validation. Each small act of self-respect felt revolutionary, as though she were slowly reclaiming a self she had never been allowed to know. The Duke's choice, though silent, spoke louder than praise ever could. It challenged the shallow rules she had been measured by all her life. In his presence, she was not a consolation prize or a rebellion against expectations. She was simply herself, and that, for the first time, was enough. The world did not change overnight, but her place within it did. And with that shift came the understanding that rejection, painful as it was, had shaped her into someone capable of receiving this unexpected future without losing herself. As time passed, the story people told about her began to change. Not because she transformed into someone else, but because she stopped hiding. She became proof that being chosen does not always look like winning, and being overlooked does not always mean losing. Her sister, too, found her own path, freed from the burden of being the obvious choice, discovering worth beyond constant admiration. Their relationship healed slowly, not through words, but through shared growth and quiet acceptance. Just before the ending, please leave a comment sharing whether you have ever felt overlooked or underestimated, and what helped you keep going. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs today. In the end, the greatest victory was not the Duke's decision, but her own. She learned that beauty could exist in resilience, that strength could grow in silence, and that rejection could carve space for something truer than approval. She walked forward not as the rejected sister, but as a woman who had survived being unseen and still learned how to shine in her own way. If this story touched your heart, moved you, or reminded you of your own hidden strength, please like the video, share it, and subscribe. Your engagement keeps these stories alive, and your support turns quiet resilience into a voice that reaches others.